Hello and welcome back. I don't know.
A lot of y'all, man.
Been wondering when is Sippin On Love coming back
We're back.
for season 4?
So,
I was gonna try to rhyme, but I didn't because that would not have been good. Yes,
oh my gosh. Okay. Well, how are you, love?
I'm well. Swell.
How was, Christmas, the New Year?
I mean, Christmas, the New Year. Oh, first off, let's talk about the New Year.
Hmm.
Christmas was banging, smoking. It was great. Bestie came up from Alabama. We
Hmm.
had a great old time, went and, immersed ourselves in the culture.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then New Year's, Bay and I made sure that we ended the year and started the new year not at home. So we traveled to New York City and just had
Yeah.
the best of times,
Yeah. Yeah.
all up and through the concrete jungle.
It was cold. Well, windy.
Windy,
Very windy.
but still just so enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like Empire State Building, Harry Potter store, the bus tour around Central Park and around all of the city.
Yeah.
Just everything.
Seeing the Statue of Liberty, shopping, the walking, the
The food.
Broadway.
Listen, if you haven't yet, you need to go see Death Becomes Her while the original cast is present because Michelle Williams did all the things that you would expect her to do, but then also the things that you never knew that she had within her because theater's in her bag. I'm also just new to this part. It's okay. We're all learning together. But
She said, "Let me show you why I'm a part of Destiny's Child."
okay, let me show you why I'm a Grammy award winning.
Okay.
Okay, because Mama's carried that musical on her vocal cords. Like every time Mama's hit the stage, you knew Michelle is here. She's there.
Mhm.
She's present. It was great.
Yeah.
Go, but don't say I didn't warn you. Huh?
And it was funny.
Very funny.
I didn't know it was like a comedy like that. It was very funny. I enjoyed the other. I need to learn the other people's name, but I loved all the other performers.
Yeah, they were nice too. They were there.
What I can appreciate also is that when we went, it didn't snow. Because I felt like that would have made it even worse.
I mean, we had flurries on New Year's Day. Like we woke up. No, you didn't go to the rooftop. You woke up and there was actually snow. Like it did snow that night. Like flurries, but still.
Yeah, it was not like heavy snow though. You know what I'm saying? So we were still able to walk around and the days that my mama couldn't handle it, we got an Uber. And the Ubers were much cheaper than we thought. And it was because the place was like 5-6 minutes away.
Shout out to our travel agent. Shout out to just
Yeah.
all the intentional planning that took place. Like literally where our hotel was, we were 5 blocks away from Times Square.
Yeah,
Like
literally right there. So it was fun. It was fun. I said we might have to go again during another season,
not like we aren't.
a warmer season,
Mhm.
but I still had fun. It
Most
was
definitely.
a good time for my first time.
Yes,
Down
I've gone before,
Yeah.
but like this is my first time being able to go like as a full-on adult and not on someone else's itinerary. It was our itinerary, the
Yeah.
things that we wanted to do. So
A good
yes.
a good time. Okay, so we can start with the I love yous. So like I said last season, I kind of wanted to switch it up a little bit.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna get some cards made.
Oh.
Um, I might do it virtually maybe.
Hmm.
But there are different questions.
Okay.
But it's still tying into the love aspect.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so we'll switch up the questions every episode.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll start off with this one for this episode. It says, "I love the way you express love." What do you think that comes from?
I love the way you express it. And now are we answering for like where I think the way you express love
Yeah.
comes from?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I really think one, you are just a very reciprocal person. So the way you express love comes from the way that you want to receive love, I feel. Especially in the gift giving, like you're really good at giving gifts, because you really pay attention to people. You just all the little things, even the things that folks don't be paying attention to or thinking about like firsthand. You're good. You're really, really, you're excellent at that actually. Um, I really find that the way that you express also like the way that you express your love is really just always in a space of like holding. Like you may not always right. Like you may not always understand what I'm going through because like a lot of the times when I'm frustrated or annoyed, it's all about work and like the education system. And you're just like, don't know much about, and you would say this like, but no, actually you do. Like just your experience alone gives me even more fuel to my fire. And it's just like no one should ever have to deal with anything like that. But then also everyone should have opportunity of that because I just looking at the intersecting paths and stuff like that. And then third and finally, I think not even I think I find that the way that you express love is also in a manner of what you find is possible within love. So like really like it's like, yes, I'm capable of doing this and yes, I have experience in that. And like I want to show just how deep my love can go in so many other ways as you continue to learn and develop yourself, like the same thing happens. So it's just like always grounded in who you are, but then there's always the element of surprise. Yes. Yes.
All the things. Cool.
Yes.
So for me, I think one, you also would like it to be reciprocal of what you kind of give. It doesn't have to be exactly what you give, but at least there's some type of effort and reciprocity because that's one of his favorite words. I think also because you're one, you know what you want, even though if you may not know what form it may come in, you know what you want. And you're such a nurturer, caretaker, provider. So it's like you see where the void is, or you see like what needs to be done. And so you'll just do those things to alleviate the stresses of someone else's, or because you know how to get it done. Or sometimes the way he wants it done. I'ma just take care. Yeah.
That was pointed. You okay? That was coming from a place.
I'm just saying,
Okay. You
know.
said it.
But I think also it's just that you find joy in like taking care of your partner and catering to your partner. You know, I think that goes into like your love language of like
Acts of service.
acts of service. Yes. So that's what I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, if there's any way that I could relieve the stress, the angst of everything else that you have to carry, like, why not? Especially when it's just like I have the capacity to do. However, where the balance for me and what's also a space of learning for me within us is receiving that as well. So it's like I say reciprocity, reciprocity, but then when you do provide that reciprocity in your way, it's like, I don't need your help like that. I don't want that. Do this. Why are you doing that? I've been learning to just hush and let my man love me the way he wants to love me.
Girl, that was news to me.
I said I've been learning.
Oh, okay.
Get active. It's still going. It's ongoing. He's still working. It's okay. It's a process. Levels to this.
Got a little oil on them, but it's all right.
Oh.
All shining, afraid out. Well, since we have now, what are we drinking on?
So we are featuring one of our first signature cocktails of the season. This is called the Reveal. And it is a peach mango margarita. You'll be surprised by the ingredients, which will be revealed in the recipe always found in the description. Enjoy.
I love the peaches. Yeah.
That's not peaches. That's mangoes.
Oh, mango. I gotta say, I would think it tastes more fruity, but I think it's fruity. I mean, it has the taste of fruit because you chew on the mangoes, but like, I don't know.
So they weren't supposed to be chewing on it too much.
Oh,
but they didn't do what it needed.
Well, you know what? It's still cute. Well, so for this season 4,
yeah,
we kind of themed it as live out loud. So LOL. Because life is such a joke.
Look the way. Mm-hmm.
So we felt it was only right to start off from living out loud initially.
Yeah.
And what that looked like for us when it came to coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So this is our coming out stories.
Buckle up.
It's so fun journey. So my man said he wants me to go first. So how I'm gonna tell it is from where I can remember. And I'll try to skip over some things. So I've always said I'm one of the gays who came out twice because my mother forgot. So she claimed.
Fine. Okay.
So the first time is transitioning from middle school to high school and being on MySpace. MySpace was like my gay world. I know everybody had the Black Planet and what was the other one?
BTC Live.
That I was never on that. So that was before my time. Before my time, I guess. I don't know, but MySpace was the thing. And so that and that was where I can be gay. Secretly, but in peace. So
secretly so we talk.
Right, in peace. So when I got to high school, eighth grade, going transition to high school, I started dating someone on MySpace. This person lived in California. And so, mind you, when I was younger, I used to lie about my age. So I think this person was like a junior, and I was like eighth grade, not ninth grade, right? Trouble. And so, me and this person had decided that we were going to come out together to our parents because I'm so in love. And so they did it. And so they said how their experience was and how they were kind of nervous and this, that, and the third, and how I think it was just their mom at the time. Their mom didn't take it quite so well, but it wasn't like shake. It wasn't no bad blood. It was just like they just needed time to process.
Yeah.
So that emboldened me. Oh, okay. Well, let me tell my mother. Because, I have the parent who was like, come to me for anything. I'm not going to get mad. Just as long as you're honest with me, blah, 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 blah. So I pulled my mom in her bedroom and I was so nervous and I was shaking. And I was like, I have something to tell you. And so she was getting nervous because she thought I don't know what she thought, but I guess she thought the worst. And so I came out and I was like, I'm bi. Because, that's the easy, that softens the blow. So I'm bisexual and so all this other stuff. And, my mom was like, where did she go wrong? And did anybody touch me? And is it because we stopped going to church? Because mind you, when we were younger, we used to go to church every Sunday. And well, as we had conversations, one of my mom's closest friend, who was the daughter of the pastor, she had died. And after she died, we kind of fell off a little bit. And my brother got sick. It was a whole bunch of stuff. So we kind of decided going to church. And so she was wondering if that was all a thing that kind of contributed to that. Contributed to that. And so I was like, no. I was like, yes, somebody did something inappropriate with me at a certain age, but we're going to leave that alone. But I'm bisexual. So after that, she cried. We had a moment. And then the next day, it was fine. We didn't talk about it. We didn't. Oh, rewind. I told her, I don't know if this is a phase or not. I was like, I don't think it is. I was like, this is what I like, And, of course, my mom asked that stereotypical question. What have you been with a girl? How would you know if you're gay? Or if you're bisexual, whatever. Man, okay. So the next day, fine. didn't say anything. We moved on. I was like, well, I guess we're fine. I guess, girl. But I never brought it back up. Never said anything. I never talked about a boyfriend. Nothing. I didn't even tell her I was dating a boy at that time. So high school goes on. Me and the boy, of course, breaks up because it's long distance. And so I'm like, I want to start talking to people in my area.
Yeah.
So MySpace turns into Facebook. And so, and of course, word of mouth. And so through MySpace and word of mouth, I met a couple of other people to talk to. And then I started physically dating someone my junior year. And so that was my first boyfriend, like with physical contact. And I remember I ended up telling my brother that I was gay. It was just me and him. I don't even think he remembered it because we were walking from somewhere so long ago. And I told him I was gay because at that time they were about to start going to high school with me. Yeah. So I was like, girl, I can't hide this to mom. So I gotta tell somebody. So him and my sister were coming to high school with me. So I was like, I gotta tell, okay, girl, cat's out of the bag. So me and this person, we no longer speak. We break up. And then I started dating somebody else. Now, mind you, I'm 17. This person's 21. So with this individual, this is where I was getting a little sneaky. So I would sneak off. No, me and this person worked together. Let me start there first. Me and this person worked together. So it was easier for us to see each other and, do crazy things and have intimate conversations at work. So then this person invited me to their house. And so I'm like, well, I'll explain this to my mom.
Yeah.
So I didn't. So what I did was I used to have to walk to work because our car was broken down at the time. So I used to have to walk to work and then I would just walk back home. I used to get off at like 11, 12 o'clock at night, just depending. So that person would always walk me home, but like to the corner of my street because I was like, you cannot walk directly in front of my house because then my mother's going to know something's up.
Yeah.
So we used to do that for a while. Then they invited me to their house. So on my off day, I just told my mom I'm going to work and I'm going to this person's house. I know, judgment. So that's how I was able to maneuver that whole situation. Then what got me caught up was my mother broke her phone. My mama had a razor, so this is telling my age. So the razors were hot. So my mother broke her phone. So she needed to use my phone. And she asked to use my phone because we couldn't bring phones to school anyway.
Yeah.
So I left her with my phone, but before I did that, I called or texted the person I was dating. I was like, do not text or call this phone at all on this day. What happens?
He forgot and text.
Called. Asking for me. My mother said, who is this? They hung up. Now her antennas are up. Called back. The sister calls from the same number asking for me. And my mom was like, no, who is the boy? I want to speak. Who is the boy? And they started trying to lie, making it even worse. And I'm like, oh my God, okay. So I didn't know all of this was going on because this all happened while I was at school. I get home, take a nap. My mom, we was a latch key kids, so we really could go anywhere. But my mom allowed us to go to the library up the street. So we all went to the library. And then I think I came back, or if the other kids came back before me, I don't remember how it happened. But what I do remember was my mother was the only one in the living room. I do remember that. And it was just me and her. So when I walked in the house and I saw her, the first thing she asked me was, how was your day? I was like, my mother has never asked me how my day was. Then turned around, well, what did you learn today? Never. ever, never, ever in the 17 years of my life have ever asked me those two questions. So my antennas were already up. I'm like, something's wrong. So then she was like, who's, and she said the person's name that I was dating at the time. I said, that's my boyfriend. I just flat out said it. And so she was like, you're gay? Yes. We had this. She was like, since when? I said, Mother, we had this conversation already. No, we didn't. Yes, we did. When? 3 years ago. She said, I thought that was just a phase. You told me that was just a phase and that she was going to get over it.
That's not what I say.
I never said that. Never said that. And I don't know how I was going to get over it.
How I got over it.
Yeah, I was like, no. And so she started saying some pretty awful things. The stereotypical of like the same question of, have I ever been with a girl? Being an embarrassment, all these other things. And I'm just like, okay. And then she was talking about the one thing that caught me off guard was like, she's like, well, how am I explaining this to her boyfriend's family? I don't care. I don't even like these people. I don't even like him. So that was a whole thing in its own. That whole conversation just summarized to her disapproving, her not liking it, and a bunch of insults. So after that whole conversation, that's when she didn't speak to me for like 4 days. It was like 4 days. And I was like, okay. So, the first time I told you it just went back to normal. I was like, okay. But this time I was like, I feel like it finally registered and processed.
Yeah.
Because now she didn't speak to me for 4 days. And then randomly after that 4th day, she just started a conversation with me. I was like, okay. So I guess we're good. So then this is when I get emboldened. And I'm like, well, can I go to this person's house? And she would just look at with disgust, like, why? Basically, I was like, because I want to hang out with this person, blah, 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 blah. So I think she let me go over there one time. Other times where I decided to go, no. Yeah. Don't do this. So, then it got to a point where, you see, I'm trying to skip over some things. So it got to a point where my mother and her boyfriend were having issues. And so one weekend, I went sleep at my aunt's house, which is my dad's sister, because I would go there almost, and I would go there almost every week, if not every weekend, every other weekend. And sometimes I would spend summers at their house as well. And so I remember I just went to their house. Maybe this is where I was wrong, but I just packed up a couple of clothes, called my aunt, say, I'm coming this weekend. Can you come get me? She came, got me. I left. Stayed there the weekend. My cousin dropped me back off to my house. My mother was at the door and was like, oh, you don't live here anymore. And I was like, girl, what? What are we talking about? How did we get here? And so this was during the school year. And so I was confused. They were confused. My mama was telling them that I was very disrespectful. And if anybody who've run across me as an adolescent would know, I was not a problem. I was never disrespectful to any adult. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. What you need? How can I help? Literally. Straight A, no, not straight A, maybe AB student. So Gifted was whooping my ass. So that's why I was like, everybody was confused. And in my mind, I'm like, it has to tie back to my sexuality, my sexual orientation. Because I was like, I have done nothing wrong outside of what she knows.
Yeah.
She didn't know I was sneaking out the house. Well, I was sneaking to go other places. She didn't know that part. But outside of that, there was no reason. And even if she did find that out, that was no probable cause of just kicking me out. So this was during the school year. I had to go stay at another cousin's house because this cousin stayed we lived in Lafayette. This cousin stayed in Lafayette. And so in order for me to continue out my junior year there, we was just going to finish off I think I had a couple more months at her house. Mind you, I had to catch the city bus to get to school, which had me an hour late to school, which this all trickled effect to where I had to speak to my first hour teacher because during that time we had AB days. Mm-hmm. So I think this was like my A day or whichever day it was, that classes were an hour and a half. And I'm an hour late to school. Yeah. So she's like, what's going on? And I kind of had to tell her, I'm in house catching the city bus. This is what's going on. And so she worked with me because, you have to check yourself into school if you come after a certain time. Yeah. And I wasn't doing it because otherwise it will mark you absent. Mm-hmm. So she would just mark me present. Because if you were marked absent that first hour, it would raise a flag to your other teachers throughout the day. Because I guess it would make it seem like you're skipping or whatever. Yeah. So she marked me present and she would have my work ready for me for whatever I missed. And then my best friend also took that class as well. And so she would share her notes with me whatever I missed. So that kind of all worked out with the academic aspect for that period of time. Okay. So catching the city bus to school, from school was also another thing. And so it had got to the point where close to the end of school, my cousin asked me, she was like, okay, so are you going back to your mama's house or are you going to your aunt's house, my dad's sister's house? Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I would really like to try to go back to my house because I really want to finish out my senior year at the school I'm going to because my aunt lives in another city. Right. So I was like, I don't want to go to another school. So I was like, let's try to talk to my mom, reconcile with my mother. And so I was able to move back in during the summer, the beginning half of the summer. So let's say May, June-ish. Still going to work. Was I still talking to this person? I think I still was talking to this person. Yeah, because before I moved back home with my mom, that's when prom happened, junior prom happened, and all kind of other things. So I was still seeing my partner at the time because my cousin would allow me. She didn't know who he was to me. She just knew he was a friend. That's what I said. He was a friend because she's also very religious. So I got to play my cards smart. Right. So he's a friend. And I would still be able to see him. Fast forward, my mom allows me to move in at the end of the school year during the summer, that Mayish, June. And so the vibes were off, is what I'm going to say. And I can tell because my mom seemed a lot more agitated, or I say easily agitated. And it was like, I think she had a lot of stuff mentally going on with like not work. Because at this time she wasn't working. The guy she was dating at the time also wasn't working, and he had some mental issues. Which means we didn't have much income coming in. Again, her car was also broken at the time. It was a lot of things going on. I guess also financial navigate son. Mm-hmm. So a lot of things going on at one time. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to stay on this lady's good side, I'm not going to be here at all. And what I mean by that was I was going to school from like 8 to 2:30. School let out at 2:15. We got home at like 3. Mm-hmm. From 3 to 4, I did homework. From 4:30 to like 10 or 11 or 12, I was at work. So literally, I was home for an hour. I made sure I was there as least as possible. And if it was an off day, I was either in my sister's room, chilling with her, or I was just on my iPad or phone. So, to stay out the way. One day, my mom came up with a rule that you could not use the internet. I don't know. Again, she had stuff going on. I don't know. The internet just easily bothered her that particular week, I guess. So, my sibling at this time, this is when the iPod Touch came out. So the iPod, well, no, I finally got an iPod Touch. So I just left my iPod Touch with my siblings because you can get on the internet on that. And I was like, well, y'all deal with that. Y'all get the Wi-Fi from wherever, and y'all can just play with that. I think the Wi-Fi was tripping one day, and so I ended up like fixing it. And so my mom came home. Who touched her router? I did. Why? Because something was wrong with the Wi-Fi and I fixed it. Who told you to touch this? And it went to this whole thing. And then at the end of that conversation, it was like, you got to be gone by the end of the summer. For touching the router? Ma'am, what's going on? So I'm like, this lady's tripping. Maybe whatever. This is June. So here comes July-ish. My mom and her boyfriend breaks up. She, for whatever day they break up, she decides she's going to pack up the house that day. She's packing up the house. Right. Packing up the house. And I was like, I heard her on the phone and she was like, oh yeah, me and my 2 kids. Oh, rewind. My mom has 4 kids. One of her sons were already living with my grandmother, which is the maternal grandmother. So it was me and my 2 other siblings. So when I heard her on the phone say me and my 2 kids, I'm doing the math. Add a 1, subtract. Is she talking about me? Am I subtracted from this equation when she's saying 2 kids? So I asked her, I forgot what I asked her. But she was like, I already told you got to be gone by the end of the summer. Oh, I thought she was just mad that day. What's going on? So call my aunt, can you come get me? My dad's sister. Can you come get me? My mother's going through a spell. And I have to be moved out by now. So I stayed with my aunt for the remainder of the summer. I ended up calling what I did appreciate about my aunt and my uncle was that they sat me down. They knew what was going on as far as my sexual orientation. They told me they were fine with it. They understood. They got personal and told me some of their personal encounters that they've had. And so I was like, okay, this made me feel a little bit better, feel a little bit more welcome. And what I could say during that period of time, I was also close to my maternal grandmother. And, I was just expressing to her how upset I was, how, I quote unquote hated my mom at the time, and how, I just didn't want to deal with her. I just didn't want anything to do with her anymore. And so she was talking me off a ledge. I had my aunt, my uncle supporting me, as well as my cousins. And so when school was about to start, I called up my best friend just to let them know, hey, I won't be going to school with y'all this senior year because this was going on. So I was trying to do like my little farewell tour, letting everybody know, the baddest is not going to be there. So one of my best friends was like, you could just come stay with me. And when you talk to your best friends, they offer that. You're like, girl, I hear what you're saying, but it's not your house. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't take it serious. Like, I wish I could come stay with you. And so we get off the phone. The next day, her mother calls me. And so that's when she was like, "Oh no, you can come stay with us. Like we have an extra room, this, that, and the third." And I, you know me, oh, I don't want to be a burden. Well,
Yeah.
I feel like that's overstepping. And so she was like, "Do you want to finish your senior year at a new school?" No. She's like, "Do you want to continue to see your friends?" Yes. Just, she was asking me all these rhetorical questions, and it just basically was like, "Okay, I'm gonna come stay with y'all."
Mhm.
Talked to my aunt, uncle. They were cool with it. They met my best friend's mom. And so I was able to stay with them for the remainder of my senior year.
Mhm.
And, I guess my best friend's mom saw that I was getting a little like dicey my senior year because I was like, you know, I'm just waiting for her to tell me when I got to kick rocks.
Yeah.
So she was like, oh, so one of her rules were, because everybody knows I work like a Hebrew slave. So one of her rules were that I could not work as many hours as I had been working my sophomore, junior year.
Yeah.
She was like, this is your senior year. You have to enjoy it. So I worked less, met all of their family, became a part of their family, went on different excursions and, did different things. And I really did enjoy that school year with, I'm not going to say no stress, but it was just like, you still have a reminder on your shoulders when you still see your siblings. Because like I said, my siblings are going to high school with me at this point. So when there were things that I may have forgotten, I would ask my sister, hey, can you bring this to school so I can bring this home or whatever, whatever. And so my mom had caught my sister at one time and told her, don't take anything out of her house. So I was like, okay, girl, I'm just whatever, whatever. Fast forward to my senior year, senior graduation. Invite everybody who I wanted to invite, this, that, and the third. My sister calls me, tells me that my mother's not coming and that my siblings have to find a ride to the graduation. Okay. So that deterred me for just a couple of hours. But it just so happened my sister she rode with my mom's boyfriend at the time.
Mhm.
He brought her, my brother came with my maternal grandmother. I had my aunt come out of town. So I still had, my family came and supported me still, minus my mother. So, I mean, of course, I was upset earlier in the day, but it was like I had to I'm good at compartmentalizing,
Mhm.
very well at that. So when it came to like the actual graduation event, I was fine. I was not thinking about her. I was mostly thinking about the people who are actually there supporting me. And so when I saw my sister and my grandmother, all of them, that just made me more excited. So graduation, after graduation, I had a graduation party. Again, I had my family come and support me. Again, minus my mother. Um, and so at that point, I was just like, I literally don't want to have anything to do with this lady at all. I'm fine. And so my best friend's mom tells me, I don't need the stress of thinking of trying to find somewhere else to go. That during college, I can stay with them still, which was great because that's why I kind of look at being homeless, unhoused as a blessing because my senior year, I had to go speak to the counselor and they had to put, because every school year during orientation, they make you bring like a utility bill for proof of residence. And if you're outside of that, if it's not your parent or if you're outside of that district, then it causes an issue. So of course I didn't have a utility bill with my mother's name on it. So we had to go speak to the counselor. They put me as an unaccompanied minor. And so what that did was applying to college. That helped me out with the Pell Grants and with FAFSA and all of that. And so basically I was able to go to college for free
Mhm.
Thank God for that. So I was, or for the free. So I thank my mother for that. So I was able to go to college for free, and I was able to. We had a state scholarship, and because of I followed the curriculum and had the right GPA, I was able to get a scholarship for all 4 years, which also my refund check was looking really nice. And so my best friend's mom was like, "There's only two things you can do. You either have to go to school or you have to go to work.
Yeah.
You can't stay here being a bum." Of course. So I went to school.
And it worked.
And did and volunteered. So what I did was, when I get the refund check, I'm gonna break my sis off something because she's helping me. So then why not help her? And so I basically I stayed there for a total of 6 years. I think 6 years. And so it was fun. I think they got to see me evolve to me, I was in the closet. To them, they already know. But they got to evolve from me because me and my best friend went to homecoming together freshman year. So that's when I was in the closet. So they got to see me evolve from that stage in my life to me coming out and being homeless to me finally being open and figuring out who I am and what I like and who I like. And, so they got to see me through that whole journey. And I do appreciate them. And I always, if they ever need anything, I'm always not one phone call away because I don't answer my phone, but I will call them back. I will call them back.
I live with the man and he don't answer my calls.
Yeah, but I will call you back. I will text you back. It may be days later, but I do call them back. And if they ever need anything, they know I got them. And it's just like I appreciate them for giving me the space and the tools. Because me and the mom, like when I would get off late at night, me and her would just be talking for hours. It always seemed like me and her were almost close friends, but she always reminded us we're not friends. I'm the adult. And, this person is your friend. I'm not your friend. But it's like, it was good to have like a mother role, a mother figure to still share interests. And we could talk about TV shows. We could talk about different experiences. We can talk about just anything, you know what I'm saying? And it was just good because when you feel rejected from one person and you have such, I'm going to say just complex feeling towards the other person. It's just like, I'm going to get it when I can get it, and I'm going to appreciate what's being poured into me instead of what's draining me. And I think that kind of attributed that plus a lot of other traumas contributed to like me having depression. I don't think I really had anxiety, but I had a lot of depression. And I was one of those people who were, I think it's called functioning depression, where I seem like I'm okay. And I just, go with the day as normal.
Masking.
Yeah. Go with the day like it's normal. And you wouldn't know until I get home.
Yeah.
And I'm alone. And then on my off days, I'm in my room. I don't want to move, so it was just all these different emotions. And I'm just like, I noticed that it was quite frequently. And I think even before I came out or invited people into my business, I was a lot more depressed. And I think because I was kind of, confused because I didn't know what it was. Because again, I skipped over a lot of stuff of encounters that I've had younger. So I was confused, but I was also like, but I can't be gay because I don't know if that's right or not. I don't know, so trying to suppress these thoughts. And I know that I can't share it because I don't know who to share it with. And when I finally do share it, we see what happens. And so it was just a whole big mess. But I do want to say that I just appreciate all the people along that journey that poured into me, who I left out of this equation was my father. My father was incarcerated for majority of my life. So when I came out, I didn't even tell him. My mother told him. And it just so happened he called my dad called maybe like every few months, and it just so happened the month and day that he calls was a couple of days after I came out to my mom the second time.
Oh, wow.
I was like, is this guy being funny?
Standing your truth, sis.
And
Standing your truth.
when he called, I was on the phone with him. My mom comes up to the phone, takes the phone. Hey, I'm gonna need to have to talk with you. So when I was on the phone with him, I did not tell him at all, because that's not what we was on the phone for.
Mm-hmm.
We catching up on life because I haven't spoken to you in months. So my dad ended up calling again. Where he got the commissary from, I don't know. He just using it up, calling twice in one day, never.
Oh.
And my mother told him. And I knew because then he wrote me a letter. Because that's how me and my dad mostly communicated, was through letters. So then that phone call followed with the letter. And his disapproval and all this other stuff, blah, 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 blah. So I'm getting it on both ends from both of my parents. Of course, I wrote him a nasty letter. And so it was just bad blood between me and him ever since. Until we had conversations most recently when my man came into the picture. So mind you, girl, that was what, 10 years later?
Yeah.
That we had a heart-to-heart conversation. So I'm just like, oof, no, not even 10. That's probably like 15. Yeah, I think it's about, let's not say 15, let's say 13. Maybe 13 years later.
Rounding up, but still 15.
Yeah, of us having like a heart-to-heart conversation. Just the whole ordeal. Because now he's out. But looking back at that time, I don't feel any type of way. I don't. I think everything happens for a reason. Everything had to happen for a reason. Me and my mother are now talking because of my niece. My sister had ended up getting pregnant, and we both came together and decided that we're going to help support my sister. And when my niece came into the picture, that's how we ended up speaking again.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like a heart to heart, but it was just like we're tolerating each other in each other's space.
Yeah.
And then we got a flow. And then now she loves me and she has accepted me for her child and this, that, and the third. So we're in a good space. Me and my dad is in a good space. And so now I'm content. Because what I do know is when it comes to my partner and previous partners, what I was quick to do was cut somebody off. What we're not going to do is disrespect my partners. And that means not acknowledging them, not speaking to them, or say anything negative towards them. I was not playing that.
Yeah.
And I was not coming around. That was the quickest way to cut my attachment off, my presence from y'all. And my family knows that. So, yeah. But we're all good. He cousin, but it's my good nephew, my son, all this other good stuff. So he gets all the good stuff. He missed all the craziness, but I'm glad we blossomed here.
Yeah.
We blossomed here.
Yeah.
So we're in a good space now.
Indeed, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
And first off, as always, it's a privilege to always just hear your story because it's always new pieces. Not even new, but like more details that come out each and every time. Like you said, it's always the remembering. And in my remembering, ooh, picture it, night, no.
Literally. 19.
No, but I mean, we couldn't even say 1990s plus because like that's when I was born. But I guess especially like through elementary school, I always knew that there was like a difference there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, never knew the words, didn't know what queer, gay, bi, none of that was. Like, truthfully, not until really maybe late middle school, early high school. Um, d- Very sheltered life. Like, my dad was in the military. My mom was definitely heavy in the church, holy roller. So that was my reality. So it was just the order and structure of the military upbringing and then the grounded principles of religion, Christianity. And then even in the military, in the militantness of it all, my dad was very Afrocentric. Make it make sense? Hey, a lot of stuff going on, right? So there was always a religious truth, but then also an identity truth. So always the reality of who we were as Black people. And it's like, okay, great. But there was always a part of me that was like, but there's more to me than that. There's something more. Um, and whenever I would see depictions that were at least close to that, it would be like the more effeminate expressions. I know I've talked about it in previous seasons, Men on Film, the rerun episodes, because it was not out when I was growing up. It was out before, it's a rerun. So, because people like to be funny. Nonetheless, but it was just like, okay, I get it, but that's not me fully, entirely, whatever. So we fast forward to college, and that's really where, like, hey, out there. Like, I was just very much so, this is just who I am. Because, like, yes, I had dated in middle school, high school, but it was my way. And when I say it was my way, like, don't touch me, don't do all that extra stuff with me unless I will tell you when I'm ready. No, don't be coming in and kissing me. Hold on, let's get it together. I got to count, it was a whole bunch of things because there was just such a discomfort that I had to pretty much psych myself up, um, for any of those types of engagements, like, or interactions. It just wasn't for me. Got to college, started experimenting with the guys, and it was just like, oh, this is good. This is natural. This is what I was looking for. And so, long story short, like, I really, really blossomed and really, really came out in college. That's where I was really just figuring everything out. My confidant at the time was my big brother. He had already left. He was abroad in the Navy, but we were emailing consistently. And so I remember, and I've chronicled this because I was journaling heavily during this time. So I had the journals. And so I remember our conversation. He was just like, hey, it's all good. I still love you. You just make sure you're safe and doing what's making you happy. And it was just like, okay, bet. But that's my big brother. He's supposed to say cool shit like that. Like, so it's just like, all right, whatever. So I'm still living my life. So, like, I am, like, thriving in undergrad in South Carolina. Yes. And I know it's a contradiction. I just came out as gay. I'm thriving in undergrad at an HBCU in the South. But it's possible because I did. Like, I was free. I found my community. I found my little village of other Black gay guys and a few of the lesbians that were out there. Like, we were just vibing. We found our safe spaces as far as, like, our allies and our teachers that just, like, you just you and we got you. Bet. And so fast forward to, like, 2010, 2009, because I was bold. Because, yeah, I went to undergrad 2008. 2009, so a full year out at least at college. And I was already doing a lot of the research. I was hearing a lot of the stories from my classmates about how they were ostracized, basically kicked out of their families' homes not even because, like, they came out earlier within the middle school, high school time frames, but just, like, really talked about the estranged relationships. And so for me, one, there was always a part of me that was like, I can't do this dual life thing. Like that, I, more power to all the people that have been able to do that. That's hard.
You don't
for
need
me.
Hannah Montana?
It's enough. It's enough for me to maintain one head of hair to now do that and maintain a wig, and then costume. You already know it's a struggle for me to figure out one outfit for the day.
Oh.
You want me to get two? Listen, I'm good at what I'm good at, but dual identity is not that. And so, this was winter break, and like I left for winter break. I was miserable. I was depressed. Like I did not leave my room because I knew I couldn't be me the way that I was already, who I had defined myself to be while I was in school, because Millicent father, holy roller mother. Because literally, as soon as like I came back home, it was back to regular programming. We go to church Tuesday. We're in church Tuesday. My mom has training for raining on Thursday. We are in evening service on Friday. We have Brothers Keeper or Youth for Christ choir rehearsal on Saturday, and then we're in church all day Sunday. And it's just like, yeah, we didn't do all this in college, and churches knew like we get in like 9, we're out by 11.
Mhm.
Nah. The church I grew up in, you get in there at 9, that's early morning worship. Then you get Sunday school at 10. Just a whole bunch of the things.
Y'all going different days.
Yeah, it's not that was your life. And how dare you have anything that would take you away from doing all of those things on a regular basis? It's like, no. So I already knew. So after that experience, I was just like, yeah, no, this is dead. I'm not dealing with this again. So I wrote my parents a letter. Really, because I know my parents to the awareness of like talking to them, they will only nitpick at what they want to hear and only focus on that. But then also I know me, especially if before my parents at that age, and at that time of development, I still shrunk in front of them. I won't lie. Like, so it's like, let me write this out. So I say everything that I need to say. I address all the things that I need to address and hopefully answer all the questions that they have. So yeah, like I did answer the question, like, no, no one's ever touched me. Like, this is just who I am. This has always been who I've been. I was hiding it because I heard the way y'all talked about it. I saw the way, y'all would react to it when you saw it on TV. I hear the way the pastor preaches so negatively about it, and still, all of those things are targeted to me, even though I didn't understand why I had that feeling of guilt or that feeling of empathy when, like, I would see and hear y'all responses to it. At the time, I did have a boyfriend, and I did tell them that I had a boyfriend. He was fine, like nothing was crazy. Um, but I don't know. Like it was a lot that I was doing in the letter, and I think no, I don't have the letter actually. I don't know where the letter is. I left it on my dresser in my room. My little brother found it.
Oh.
Because he was the one that would always go in my room and just take shit.
Oh, you were at home.
Yeah, like at the end of my winter break, because like I was so miserable, and I really sat in it and wondered like why I was so miserable. And then it was once my friends text me from South Carolina, it was like, bitch, I'm going home.
Mm-hmm.
And like that, that felt so weird for me that it's like I'm home, but I don't feel at home at my own home.
Mm-hmm.
Like I felt more at home in South Carolina, a place that like I made to be my home.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I left the letter, and literally I got back that night
To South Carolina.
to South Carolina, back to campus. No, this was 2010, actually. Sorry, fast forward. That winter of 2008 to 2009 was the first and only time I went home closeted.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I kind of stayed away for a little bit to like build my confidence, my strength up, because I knew like after hearing, like I was saying, spirit be knowing, I knew my family, specifically my parents, were going to do something I would not like, specifically excommunicado, John Wickett. Like I felt something like, I knew at least they would not talk to me. I didn't think anything like, oh, I'm done with you, this and the other. I never thought that far, but I was prepared for it. So yeah, wrote the letter, left, because by that time I had a car, drove back to South Carolina, and literally I pull up in the parking lot and my mom calls me. And she's like, hey. I said, hey. She's like, how you doing? I said, good. I'm just pulling up. She's like, oh, good. You made it real good. Nice and safe. I said, yes, ma'am. She's like, well, so we got your letter. I said, oh, that was fast. She's like, yeah, and actually your little brother found it. So we're not really not happy about that. What your dad and I are going to talk to you when he gets back in. But yeah, so then we talked for a little bit, and she was like, she went through all her questions of like, did anyone touch you? Are you sure? This, that, and the other. I'm like, Mom, no one has ever touched me, because if they did, you would have known. The world would have known. No. To the same effect, like, I know this because it's like, Mom just said, well, how do you know? I said, the same way you know that you love Dad. That's the only way that I can explain it. And then she tried to give me some scriptures to read. I was like, girl, please, no. I said, okay, I'm gonna write them down. Did not write them down. Never read them. Mom, if you ever watch this, never read those scriptures. Had me in there crying, boo-hoo, crying down. And then we get off the phone with and no, I think I'm merging. I'm blurring stories together. Pause. Sorry, y'all. She said that night, she said, we're going to call you when your dad gets home. That was January of 2011? No, 2010. I didn't hear from my parents again till the next year.
Damn.
Yeah, like, because I didn't go home, because I didn't hear from them. So I'm still waiting for their phone call. It wasn't until 2011 that it was I don't know, my timeline's blurred. It was in the time frame. I want to say between my sophomore and junior year, I was on my own. And honestly, I would say freshman through junior year, and telling a freshman year into junior year, I was on my own. And so literally, I stayed up till 3:00 that morning waiting for their phone call. Never happened. Fell asleep, woke back up, and I was just like, I made my move. This is on y'all now. I communicated, I expressed it, I even stated in the letter, I am open for any conversation, but don't get crazy. In my own way of saying it. You would know. You could only imagine. And then again, this was unrefined me. Nonetheless, but still with tax, it was my parents. Fast forward, it was around my birthday, when I think it was my 21st, actually, so 2011. Finally heard from them. And yeah, my mom's like, well, happy birthday. I said, oh, hey, thanks, happy birthday. She's like, we haven't heard from him. I said, well, I'm still waiting on your phone call from a year ago.
Of course he would say that.
Let's not play possum here, okay? Let's not be coy. We know what y'all raised me to be too sharp and to be too aware for y'all to try to play this with me. And so she's like, oh, let me call you later on. I said, oh, as long as you call, I won't be waiting. But if you call, I'll answer, like, in my mind. I'm not that rude. Fast forward, and then that's when she went through all the things of all the questions. She's like, because she went and told the church, of course. And it's just like, for the people that don't have a hand in shit, you don't contribute to nothing. Y'all the main ones that got so much to say, but y'all have leave that alone. So, fast forward to after the fact, like, she's going through all that. I'm literally in the room crying, breakdown crying in my damn apartment. This woman going to close the conversation off. Well, I can't say I didn't know. What? I said, what did you just say? She's like, I can't say. I know. I knew. I just didn't want to say anything. Like, I saw like when you growing up and you were always trying to wear my shoes. Like, I would see those things, but I didn't want to believe it to be true. Like, and then also, how do you know? And then, of course, their immediate thing was like, that's not how we raised you, this, that, and the other. But nonetheless, so that was the conversation with my mom. Later on that year, that fall, I had finally not confronted, but I had the conversation with both of them before I left from Thanksgiving break because I did go home that year. Um, and that was also the year that my mom was like really excited that all the kids were coming back home. And she had the audacity to try to call my dad on me because I said because I was coming home a day later than what she wanted.
Oh.
But nonetheless, got there, and before I left, I said I wanted to have a conversation with you all about the letter that I left for you both about who I am. And my dad, just like, well, above all things, like, we don't agree with it because that's not how we raised you. And at this point, I'm just listening. He's talking and talking. He's like, you know, but we don't have to agree with every choice you make. We don't have to do any of that. All we need to do is love you. And in that loving you is being reminded consistently that you're a gift to us. Like, and we want to just make sure you're safe. And that's enough for you to start crying. It's like, girl.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, and biggest things for her, she's like, I just really want to make sure that you're safe. Like, I be seeing the stuff on the news and this and the other, and I don't want you to be someone that like they're talking about in the stories. And it's like, girl, yeah, I'm a busybody, but I don't be doing no crazy stuff now, girl. Like, come on now. So, had that conversation, and like for me, that was like the vindication that set a fire ablaze. It's like, oh, fuck all y'all bitches. My mama and daddy love me. I don't give a fuck what y'all say. There's nothing y'all can say to hurt me, to harm me. Like, motherfuckers have tried. And like, it was just like, that was the quickest 8-hour drive back to South Carolina I ever had. I think I got there in 4 because like, I was so full of just like that confirmation of love. And like, for me, I know that that was one of those driving forces to make sure that the same type of love and empowerment that my parents eventually imparted on me was like the type of community and village and vibe that I wanted to have with each and every person that I do connect with. Like, and then especially when it came to like my partner, a lot of trial and error. Because, again, in the learning, because I was a late bloomer, because I did not look at people or like even consider the concept of dating folks until like even considering to like folks until like 7th or 8th grade. I didn't act on any like showing attraction to anyone until like 8th grade. So it was just like, and then of course, like I did see the boys, but it was just like, but I be knowing how y'all be talking, and I don't got time for y'all to be coming at me crazy because I don't know my own strength yet. So I played it safe for a lot of the time. And then it was, again, truthfully, throughout college that like I really was able to kind of start to at least figure out who I am, that okay, gay, queer, whatever that is. And honestly, the queerness came into more so like me actually living my life versus learning and being gay simultaneously. So yeah, like it was a journey. Like I can't say there would yeah, it was a journey is what I would say. And appreciative of it all. Like I look at it now and seeing how much my family has grown, specifically my parents, because my siblings never had my siblings were just like, oh, was this news?
I'm screaming.
Y'all motherfuckers. Like, but also to the reality of it, they with me 24/7. They, if no one else knew, they would know. And they never cared. Like it never ever had my siblings ever made fun of it, joked about it, because also like I didn't come out until like I was an adult pretty much. But the mannerisms were there. Anthony was always going to be Anthony, and that was how they looked at it. And I mean, like they're just like, oh, that's just it. Like my sister is quick to intentionally antagonize me because of how I respond to stuff. She's like, it's just funny. No, you're an asshole. Leave it alone. So
it's something like that sibling like love and bond.
Yeah. And I mean, and it truly was the sibling love and bond that like really helped bridge the gap with my parents, because even after me coming out, it was my younger two siblings. They actually came down and stayed with me for a summer. And my mom was hesitant about it, but my dad was like, because my dad was on this kick. He's like, because this was also during this time where the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell was happening. So with my dad being in the military, he's getting this re-education as well. And his philosophy was in this space of like, how can I sit up here and be inclusive with my shipmates and my crew members? And I can't even I can't transfer that same practice to my home. And like he and my mom had to have some difficult dialogue about, yeah, your religious beliefs, but then also this is our son. So they had to go through their growing, and I mean, clearly you see where we are now, because just like he just said that, yeah, I'm the nephew, son, the greatest uncle, all that good stuff. Like they don't care about me anymore in my family. They're just like, yeah, where's Darius? Why are you here? Like, so Darius must be in the car still. Like, why are you here and Darius isn't here? Better yet, why are we talking to you? Call Darius right now. Didn't you? Without me, Darius wouldn't even be in this picture. What y'all talking about? Like, put some respect on my name and stop doing this and stop acting like y'all don't know. And it's just beautiful to see their growth and understanding that like our gayness, our queerness is just the fact of who we choose to love. Like how we love is just like any other human being. And I think in our coming out stories that I found is definitely most synergy is that like it was truly just a living example of our own resolve, of our own resilience. So it's like, okay, family or not, like, bitch, I'm gonna get mine, and then still be fabulous in doing it. Because clearly, but yeah, that was my story.
Such. It was an uplift. It was. It was just like, just you could hear the love and the support. I mean, even though we went through the struggles of trying to just understand everything and comprehend, like, how do we move forward? Even if you don't agree, I guess level of power is everything.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
So I just love that. And of course, you can, like, when you get around his family, you feel the love. You feel the support. Like, you know that there's good energy, good vibes. And it's like, I think that's another thing that I just appreciate about his family. Because it's like, I may have my own issues, but when I get around them, I can still feel that energy.
Well, I mean, that's Kendrick too, because the few times that we've been able to see your family, it's just, come on, Anthony, let's go. And I just got a big old smile on my face. I'm just happy to be here, y'all. Because we got some good food, we got some good drink, and just good vibes. And we just with like, I love the fact that your family is not afraid to authentically celebrate. Like, yeah, he loves my family, and like they got great vibes.
You know what? They said there's the mama side and the daddy side. I'm the daddy side. You know, I'm the daddy side. We call it bougetto, bougie and ghetto. You know, on this side.
And they're bougetto over here too, but it's heavy in the bouge. And then it's a bougetto, like with the accent. It's
with the French accent.
Yeah. But I think it's still just like, it also just shows like how all of all that makes our families who they are, how that has informed who we are as individuals. But then I find that the queerness is just like the glitter that they just can't pick away. Like, and then it's just like, it makes it just so unapologetic and just so authentic that it's the fact that it's like, you have no choice but to accept me because, bitch, all I am is love.
Okay.
All it is love.
Everywhere and on everything.
That's it.
We have more fun. So thank y'all for listening to our story.
Yes.
You know, I hope y'all had y'all tissue, had y'all snacks, you know.
A little cocktail.
A little cocktail. You know, because we over here part of the truth.
And sipping on the love.
So make sure y'all follow us on all of our social medias on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. But it's Sippin_on_love.
And as always, to keep the conversation going and the drink still flowing, always like and subscribe and follow us on our various podcast and video streaming platforms, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify, as well as YouTube, because we are visual and live. And of course, if no one has told you, I love you, we love you, and keep sipping on love. Peace out.